In the northeast of Australia, running along the coast for thousands of kilometres, is the world's largest living structure. The Great Barrier Reef is a natural wonder, home to thousands of marine species, from sharks and turtles to tiny molluscs and corals. But in recent years, the reef's ecosystem has come under extreme pressures, from farm runoff, pests and tropical cyclones. Now, some of its most iconic species are suffering, but one woman is doing something about it. The jetty in Cairns is where tourists board boats to explore the reef. Local Jenny Gilbert is here too, and she has some unusual luggage, a young green sea turtle.
We're taking a turtle over to Fitzroy Island that's actually been in a Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre, intensive care for about 4 months now.
And how old is this turtle?
This turtle's only really little. It's probably only about 10, 12 years old, so we call them new recruits.
And what does it weigh for that age?
Well, it's a bit heavier than we thought actually. It probably weighs about 15 kilos.
And what should they normally weigh at that age?
Well, it's actually weighing in at what it should weigh at. It's actually 15 kilos. When it came in, it only weighed about 8 kilos. It was very, very skinny.
Floods and cyclones in particular have damaged key parts of the reef's ecosystem, including its seagrass meadows. That's a major source of food for green sea turtles, and the impact has been devastating.
What happened was, after Cyclone Larry, and then we had the environmental conditions, the wet, dry and the floods and Cyclone Yazi, the inshore seagrass beds, which normally recover after a cyclone, haven't recovered, and these turtles are literally starving to death, and they're green sea turtles.
Jenny Gilbert runs the Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre, which has an outpost on Fitzroy Island.
Green sea turtles eat seagrass, and so do dugongs, so they're the species of turtles that's been affected the worst. So we've had a 600% increase in strandings of green sea turtles in the last few years at Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre, and an 800% increase in strandings up the east coast of Queensland.
The rehabilitation centre takes in sick and starving turtles and nurses them back to health. It can take years for a turtle to heal.
What they're doing is they're trying to stay alive, so they've got their head up in the air and they get a rubbing against the shell and they get little abscesses on their back. So it really is quite sad to see these guys come in. And when we do get them in, and unfortunately they are dead when they're brought in, when we do a necropsy on them, you open them up and it's sad, there's nothing in there. It's just a terrible tragedy to see them. And of course, being a reptile, it takes them a long time to actually die because they've got such a slow metabolism, and they're not like they're going to die within 2 or 3 days. So it really is very sad. So the ones that we've got in a Cairns Turtle Rehab, we can call the lucky ones. They were found, they've been fattened up. Every turtle that we have in at the moment, and we have 16 in, we think all of them will actually be returned back out into the ocean. They're all doing really well.
Today, she's taking this young turtle to the Fitzroy Centre for some final care, to give it the best shot at survival when it's released.
We've got about probably 85% success rate now. From what I read and what I've been told, the Great Barrier Reef really is struggling a little bit. I do know we're going at the moment through one of our phases of the crown of thorn starfish, and that's a very destructive animal. It kills the coral. You see patches, large patches of coral that are just dead from it. And then also the other problem that arises, if we get increased dredging, then we get silt that goes out to the Great Barrier Reef. It kills the coral, it kills the seagrass. So there's a lot of problems that the Great Barrier Reef really is struggling with at the moment. And we need to really seriously look at this reef. It's the most pristine reef in the world. We can lose it because of what's happening. I have been out in patches out there that are just dead patches of rubble out there, which is exactly what you see overseas from where it's been decimated. Our turtle will travel. This is one of our medium-sized tanks because it's only a really small turtle. So we'll just put her in a little medium tank and we'll just see how she goes.
Australia has until February next year to prove that the Great Barrier Reef should not be put on the World Heritage In Danger list. Oddly enough, Jenny Gilbert says an in danger listing might help as a wake-up call.
that's probably a benefit that it does get put onto the World Heritage Endangered list, because that would actually at least hold back a lot of things that would happen that can affect the reef. I mean, the unfortunate part is when the reef's gone, and the animals have gone with it.